Today we're going to talk about the bite-sized PL for the busy educator. Excuse me. Here at Royce City High School, it's pajama day, so I thought I'd be festive and have a little fun with this, but I'm going to go ahead and remove my hood, and we're going to jump in and get started. So my name is Angela Arledge, and I am the Innovative Learning Specialist at Royce City High School. And today I am going to be covering student accountability with Classwork Zoom. And this falls under the category of hybrid instruction. So let's jump in and get started. So a couple of things to know about Classwork Zoom if you've never heard of it. And it's a great tool for teachers to use. It is an extension, and one great thing that it does is it helps students or it helps teachers to know whether or not students are engaged in the work. So for instance, here I gave a screenshot of what that might look like, and you can see the students' work and what progress they've made and whether or not they've been engaged in that lesson. It is also a great way to see students' work on a timeline. So it shows teachers a visual of all of their students, or specifically one student, and in a very easy and user-friendly timeline. And it shows blocks of time that allows teachers to look and see how long students have actually worked on that time. Another thing that it does is it's an easy check for balance of work. So you can take, excuse me, you can look at specific students and see if there's any editors. So for instance, on this screenshot here, you can see that there were 4 students that were editing this document. And it also shows you how long those 4 students were actually active in editing that document, which is really great. Because you can see here that Mary only edited the document 3%, whereas Elizabeth edited the document 53%. So that's a good indication of the amount of time and work that was put in. Another thing is you can spot unassigned editors. So take, for instance, this example of Elizabeth Harvey, and you can see that Elizabeth has 2 editors. And so Malcolm and Elizabeth, and then you can see that Malcolm was not assigned to that project. So it allows teachers to look and see what other students are on the document. You can also get a preview of possible pasting. So if students are pasting stuff into the document, for instance, take a look here. You can see the red line on the bar indicates that it is somebody that pasted something. And you can look and see and be able to spot check whether or not things were pasted. So like I said earlier, Classwork Zoom is an extension, and I have put a couple of screenshots here on how to install the extension. You're going to go to the Chrome web store, and in the search, you're going to type in Classwork Zoom, and then the first option right there where it says Classwork Zoom for Google Classroom, you are going to install that extension, and my suggestion to you would be to pin it to make sure that it's easy access, very easily accessible for teachers. The way that you pin it is by clicking the little puzzle piece in the top right-hand corner, and you're going to go down to the bottom where it says Manage Extensions, and then you can pin it from there. You can also click the little pin next to the extension name, and that will pin it to where it stays on top next to your search. Just a friendly reminder though, Classwork Zoom only works with Google tools. So if you assign a document that is taking the students out of Google tools, such as Genuinely or another tool, it will not be able to track the student progress like it does with the Google tools. So if you use docs, sheets, slides, that is when it can track and let the teachers know all of the details about the document. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get started with using Classwork Zoom and how it looks on the teacher side. So the first thing you're going to do is click on and select a class. And then the second thing you're going to do is it's going to automatically load all the students in the class. But if you wanted to specifically look at one student, you can use the drop down and check students' names and just select one specific student. The next step you're going to do is select the assignment that you're looking at. So it's not going to populate all of your assignments in Google Classroom. It's going to populate a specific one. And then the last step is to click Build Timeline. And once you have selected Build Timeline, you're going to, it's going to take you to a page similar to this. So you can see that all of the students are on the left-hand side, and you can look and see actually how many or how long the students have been working in the document. And this is a great tool to use for accountability. So if you look at the first line, it says the big yellow line is the amount of time spent working on the assignments. At the top with the arrow pointing down, you'll see that that's where you can adjust the dates. You can zoom in and out, and you can go back further. Or you can so you can adjust the block of time that you're looking at. And then the last one over on the far right-hand side, the arrow that points to the right, that is for the next block of work for students. So if you click that arrow, it's going to take you to the next part. So a cool feature in Classwork Zoom, if you hover over the block of time, it's going to bring up a couple of other important information. So you can see here, Al was working on his assignment. And if you hover above the yellow line, you can see that, that Al has worked on this assignment for 20 minutes. Just so you know, I put this on there as well. It says no breaks longer than 5 minutes. So it will actually stop timing them after a 5-minute long break. Okay, the next part, when you hover over on the far left-hand side next to the student's name, if you hover over the time, it's going to tell you the total time worked. So you can see that Zach worked on this document for 2 hours and 51 minutes. And you can see that Zach was the only one to work on this assignment. So this is a very easy way for teachers just to simply look and check on just a quick glance on what students are working on and how long. So that's pretty much it on Classwork Zoom. I wanted to also give just a couple of other things to keep in mind when it comes to accountability for students, especially in this virtual environment that we live in now. So one of the things that I looked for is, or that I found, is to make sure that you create a supportive atmosphere. So students may be feeling stressed about the pandemic, loneliness because of the isolation, or just simple confusion of the online format. So make sure as the teacher that we are supportive, that we lead with grace, and that, you know, there are tools out there for teachers to be able to look for accountability, such as Classwork Zoom. Next, make sure that your new expectations that you set are very clear. Keep them consistent. So for instance, the way that you take attendance, keep it the same way every single day. Don't change it up. Make sure it's in the exact same place, titled the exact same, because little things like that can confuse the students. And also just make sure you keep things very, very simple. Another thing that I wanted to show, and I created pretty quickly, is to just have students come up with a learning plan. So this is just a set of clear deadlines and helps them to keep things straight and consistent. So I came up with this. It's just a Monday through Friday document for them to make sure that they go in and check off. I'm huge on, I love checkboxes and making sure that I check things off. So I created this with checkboxes on it for students to be able to go in and just simply check.
Okay, it's now time for our yellow group to head down to the cafeteria for those of you who need to purchase a lunch.
Sorry, we're about to go into lunch, so excuse the interruptions. But another thing that we're noticing is absences. So making sure that students regularly check their absences and their grades. So this is a very easy learning plan for them. So next we're going to talk about the bonus engagement strategy. This is number 14 if you've been joining us every week. So this is the 6-word stories. So after teaching a concept, reading a text, or viewing a graphical element, have students create a 6-word story by using only 6 words to tell the story of what they heard, read, or saw. Students post their 6-word stories in the chat of the Google Meet. And then another great way to get them interacting is have them respond to a couple of those stories. And just so you know, our next upcoming Power Up is tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last one. We have really enjoyed being able to have this opportunity to help you, and we hope that you have enjoyed these learning Power Ups as well, and you've learned a lot. So tune in tomorrow at noon for showing student work with the Google Classroom mobile app. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day.